All right, so I'm now recording the call, and now I'm not the best at this, and now I have to share my screen. All right, and you guys can all see my desktop now, hopefully.
Yep.
Are we in? All right, awesome.
So nice. Look, it's like a leather binder. I love it.
Oh, I have fun. Yeah, this is a new background actually for this one. So, so this is going to be focused on NLC 2018, and it is the night after Valentine's Day, and this is the Team Believe in Better / the FitFly call. So first, I'm just starting off with some quick announcements. Kristen Moore, shout out to you for becoming a coach. Kristen has been coaching for months, and her dedication without hitting Success Club or without necessarily selling challenge packs has been something so admirable because she just believes in the process. So that is what I love so much about Kristen, because she signed on day one and has done every single thing that she is supposed to do, like vitals and everything. And now I feel like it's all coming to fruition. Like now she's starting to see the numbers. She became Emerald, and I'm just so excited for her and for the future. And she just lights a whole new fire under me. So it's just super exciting. That being said,
Portia, it will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just unreal, and it's so exciting to me. So, and she is at SC4 now, which is huge. So we definitely want to get her those free leads for next month, especially now that she's Emerald. So I also want to welcome Ashley. Ashley's in the top right. It's funny because Ashley was interested in coaching about, maybe 3 months ago. She signed on right off the bat. She was like, I want to coach. I'm into it. And she talked to a few of her friends. They said they were going to sign up. They didn't. And she was like, I can't do this. But what happened with Ashley was really interesting. She fell into some huge financial difficulties, and she called me and said, cancel everything. And I said, okay, but here's the deal. You just paid your coach fee. I said, so you have 1 month to sell the shit out of this and to make extra money for nothing. And so she was like, oh my God, you're right. How do I do it? And I said, post your before and after pictures. She posted, she's at SC6, like within 24 hours. So it's one of those things where she, it was scary to put herself out there until you have that motivation of, okay, now I have to do this. And she was so thrilled. And, so now she has this whole list of people that were interested. So I'm super excited for Ashley because it truly helped her in a time of need. And I'm just, I just love working with her because she is an absolute riot. And with that being said, my bittersweet, I'm saying goodbye to Amanda. And as heartbreaking as this should be for me, because Amanda, she was truly my one and only coach for the past year. She's my North Star. She is the reason I started freemiums, which was huge for me because I was petrified of doing a freemium. I have no idea why. But her and I were hanging out at the pool, and we came up with this idea to just spread sort of happiness. And that was something true to me, and I believed in it. So we took all of the lessons from our personal development readings, and we combined them into different videos for 10 days. And that's actually what got Kristen to really join us and buy in, which was kind of cool. And Amanda's leaving. Amanda decided that to be true to herself and her family and her beliefs, she's actually signed off of all social media at this point. She loves her day job. She never wanted to leave her day job. And she felt like as much as she loved coaching and how it fulfilled her, she was just kind of done. And she wants to stay with Beachbody and Shakes and all that. But she said her goodbye officially yesterday online on a live video. And it was so beautifully said too. Like she just said how fulfilling it was, but her heart is telling her she just wants to spread love in the world, and she wants to focus on her 2 babies and her husband and her job, and that's all she has time for, realistically. So it was crazy because right at the end of her video, my phone started ringing, and it was this like rock star girl I knew in college that's divorced and wants to change jobs and is interested in coaching. And I was like, oh, that's the weirdest sign ever. So not only did Amanda being with me get me to do freemiums, connect me with Kristen, who has been incredible for me. This random coach is joining on as she was leaving. So I just believe that everything is meant to be, and this should have been crushing, but it wasn't, because I know that she's following her heart, and like that's what this business has taught me, to like do you and be you and do what is true to you. So those are my team announcements. Now to get to the trip. NLC was, I love Summit. I love all Tracy's leadership things. NLC was very cool because I felt like it was a combination of the two. And Julia, I don't know if you'll agree with that. But you know, Summit is so well put together and so organized, and there's so much information thrown at you, but it's monstrous. It's like you're all over, and it's like incredible. But there's there's 20,000 coaches at Summit, you know. So I mean, it's just massive. And then Tracy's things are so intimate and amazing and bonding, and there's still information given, but you know, it's that emotional side of things where all of a sudden we went here and it was this corporate event, but it was so emotional and intimate at the same time because there were 500 coaches. So all of a sudden, I was pretty mind blown by that. Like, so we walked into the corporate tour to Beachbody headquarters, and there's a sign saying "Welcome NLC coaches." So like, you walk in and right off the bat, you're like, "Wow, we're important today." You know, like it was really.
I mean, that's the thing I took away. I really felt like they really made us feel like, you know what, you've been putting the work in, you've been really working hard, you really want to make this a business, and we're going to celebrate you for that. So I really think they did such a great job. I mean, I really feel like just like the heads of the companies were just like, you know, walking around when we were at, I mean, literally Carl was standing there and we're like, oh, let's get a picture with Carl. Autumn was like, you know, there was more of a.
We're going to get to those pics.
Oh, sorry. So I felt like it was way more. Sorry. I don't want to jump, but I felt like it was just, they really celebrated us. They really, and they were giving us the tools to even create it more and then help you guys, which I really felt like really special about.
Yep. And it was awesome. And I feel like you guys are all going to get there, and I'm going to be so excited to know what you're about to experience, which I felt like Tracy was for us, you know, and how you was for us. So on the right side here, you see that those are all literally the ingredients that make up Shakeology. So every single ingredient is on the wall, and they had a doctor speak to us about the ingredients in Shakeology. And what was really neat was he broke down the science piece of it, but then he broke down the love behind it. And so the first, I can't hit on that chat. Can you see?
I see. Yep. It is very cool, Kristen.
So what the doctor talked about was, you know, he would tell us what was in it. So one of the things was the protein blend, where at age 25, and this is really interesting to be able to sort of share this with your customers or anyone over the age of 25, you hit your peak muscle mass. And it's called sarcopenia, where your muscle layers actually physically start to decrease as the fat layers increase. And that's literally from age 25. Like you start.
I didn't like that.
I know you didn't, but don't worry, it's not happening to us.
Right. I know you kept reminding me.
Physical activity and high quality protein can reverse this process. So we're giving them obviously physical activity through the programs. And the high quality protein is through our Shakeology. So like there's lots of different proteins out there. People can get it from all different places, but it has to be high quality. And oftentimes other protein shakes have a lot of heavy metals, and their proteins can be filled with toxins and whatnot. And Shakeology is specifically tested so that it doesn't include this stuff.
In every shipment, they test it. So every time they get their rice protein, they take it through a process. And if it has heavy metals, they'll send it out. So they specifically go to certain places that get the rice, and that's why they only go there. And then Dina, I do want to add real quick, I have the audio of that because Allison Brinkley sent it to me. So if anyone wants that, I can totally text you or email. So just, you know, PM me and I can send it. I haven't re-listened to it, but it's definitely worth, if you like that kind of stuff, it's definitely worth a listen.
And then the other thing that also went into it was, so obviously people are all about like the healthy fats. There was like this healthy fat movement, eat your healthy fats, you know, you need them, they're good for you. And what happens is there are two kinds of healthy fats. There's omega-3 and omega-6, and that's what our body needs. Well, in anything that's provided out there on the market, in our foods, there's a huge imbalance. So there's like this many omega-6, this many omega-3s. And what they did with Shakeology was they made it an even proportion. Okay, so that's really big because really I think it was like 80% was omega-6 out on the market.
And only in America. Yeah, Americans are the worst.
Yeah. So we're having this overload of omega-6 where we think, oh, we're doing good because we're having healthy fat, but really we need that balance. And so Shakeology provides that balance, and that's where that increase in energy comes from. So that's why, I don't know if it happened to you guys, but that's why when people drink it, they're like, oh, I have this like great energy that I get better, better than caffeine or whatnot. And that's because of that omega-3, omega-6 healthy fat balance. People are concerned about sugar sometimes. Like they'll be like, oh, well, there's this much sugar in Shakeology. The amount of sugar in one serving of Shakeology is 1/3 of a piece of fruit.
I love that.
And it's that healthy sugar, so you can tell the people, don't worry, it's 1/3 of a piece of fruit. So you're not getting this insane amount of sugar.
Wait, is the 7 grams of sugar the total amount in the whole bag, or the 7 grams is the one serving?
If it's on the nutrition label, if it says 7 grams, that's per serving.
Yeah, and that is the type that goes, because it's an organic sugar. It goes right to the liver, so it doesn't spike your sugar level. So that's what's so special about it. Like they studied it scientifically to make sure, like if it was any more, and they did it for taste. They're like, you know what, it is for taste, but it doesn't. The
your glycemic index.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Yes.
And you know what else is neat? Yeah, my husband's a diabetic, and actually Stacy Britton, who is on our team, she works in endocrinology in some form, but they actually had blood glucose machines.
Yeah.
She thought it was fun to wear one as she had a shake, and her glycemic index was dead even. Like it was like she wasn't even ingesting anything, which is so cool considering how many nutrients and superfoods she's getting. The other thing that he talked about, which I love because I've actually heard Chase Sanford talk about it, and I use this on people all the time, especially when they bring up price, because oftentimes price is an issue. Or even, I always talk about this during my challenge groups. So no matter what, during a challenge group, I'm having at least 2 posts in that 3-week period about Shakeology and about the incredible ingredients in it or about what's not in it, because you want to add value even though the people may be enjoying it. It still may not be worth it enough to them to continue after the group. So one thing I always talk about, because everyone's all about probiotics and prebiotics, in Shakeology, the probiotic, I can't pronounce it, but it's called Bacillus coagulus, I believe.
Yeah, you said that right.
I did? Wow, thanks. And what happens with this probiotic is it's protected, it's like encapsulated almost. So when you ingest it, it survives the stomach acid and actually gets broken down in the small intestine, which is where you want it to be active and be affecting. Where all the other probiotics out there, they're not as expensive and they get broken down in the stomach acid. So really, really interesting that, the Shakeology inventors went and found this one that does, survive the stomach acid and can be broken down in your small intestine to actually help you. And then the last thing he talked about were just the the phytonutrients, which help with adaptogens and stress. And like, how cool is that? Literally if I'm having my afternoon shake, I'm like, okay, the kids aren't going to drive me crazy today when they're fighting over toys and, Sage is peeing on the floor. That's awesome. So anything else to add about the shakes, Juliet,
No, I think that's perfect. I mean, it was really cute because he he had like a picture of his 2-year-old, and he said I have 2 shakes a day. He's like, he did not, oh, that's right. I wanted the ashwagandha. Yes. Elise has questions about this, which we can talk about in a second because it's not FDA approved. But what I've said to Elise about, I don't particularly like FDA approved. Her husband's a doctor, so I completely understand where she's coming from. But I find that sometimes the FDA approved stuff also is the genetically modified stuff. And so I kind of stay away from it. So when things are not FDA approved, he did not go specifically into that, but at least that brings up, I had found an article that I wanted to share with you, so remind me later about that. But he had a picture up about his child, and at least I think you would really like the thing to listen to, so I will definitely send that to you. But it was just really cool he's like, I have 2 shakes a day, and the reason being is because my 2-year-old is, I think he called him a nightmare, basically.
Oh, yeah. He was on stage every day.
He's like, and I can handle him, and it was very cute.
So can you guys see the talk box on my screen now that I'm looking at?
The what?
Like the chat box in the middle of my PowerPoint, or no?
No, I don't see a chat box. I see.
Okay, so you just see my PowerPoint.
Yeah, no chat box.
Okay.
We see the collage of pictures.
Perfect. I have the group Zoom chat in the middle of my screen. I don't know how to get it out, but that's fine.
Oh no, we don't see that.
Okay, if you go up to the top right corner, it says view options, and you can do
Oh, I
different
got rid of it.
view
All right.
options.
Sorry. Yeah, we're good. Oh my God, I'm a mess. All right, play slideshow. Here we go. All right. So this is what Juliet was kind of touching on in the beginning. Like literally you're just intermingling with people, like in really, really weird people. My favorite part was that when we were right before, you know, everyone's just kind of chatting with Carl and we're standing off the side and I'm like, we're going to get a picture. We're going to get a picture. She's like, yeah, I'm going to ask him about his ex-girlfriend from high school that I think broke it. Like she broke his heart. And I was like, no.
I babysat for his, and she had said, she's like, I dated Carl Deichler and I actually broke up with him, and she's divorced now, and she's like, he's a billionaire. And I was like, yeah.
So her bad move, but I'm still like, Juliet, don't bring that up. Like, you know, anyone that broke up with you in high school, they broke your heart. Like it was high school. Of course and literally, of course, she's like, so do you know? And right before this picture was taken, he goes, yeah, she dumped me.
But he wasn't even looking at us. He was looking out. He was like, yeah, I remember her. And he kind of looked at me like, wait, what? And then he goes, yeah, she dumped me, literally with his arms around us.
And then picture was taken. And I was like, oh my God. It was awesome. So again, it was just one of those things where we're like, okay, this is a billionaire that like is literally running this whole company. And, you know, Juliet just
standing there talking to people. Like he'd be out after the conferences, he'd be going to the bathroom and someone would walk by and talk to him. Every time I saw him after that, I would give like a, hey,
it was awesome. And then this was just an amazing board of all the transformations. And I had my Ashley point out, Portia, I know you were on the board too. I believe Juliet showed the picture of it, right?
Yeah, I sent the picture. And Portia, I didn't know that Dina was doing, like I wasn't going to jump on this, so we would have highlighted you before, but I had sent you the picture.
Yeah, it was awesome. I would like to see you guys up there. It was like,
it was so cool. I see you. Wait, okay. So see where your arrows go, right where your arm is, like where your armpit is, there's like the purple bra. Yes.
Portia! I'll add another arrow to it. Yeah, so amazing. So I'm so glad I didn't cut you off with our Carl picture. That's perfect.
I know.
So that was just so cool. And again, it was like, you were just so reminded of like, what we do is incredible. You know, like what we are doing for people is amazing. I'm just floored.
Wait,
so
Dina, go back real quick because
I don't know how.
The picture of all of us, Jeff Hill was behind us, the picture of
Al. Shoot. Yeah, did they see that? No. All
which was kind of funny because, and I knew I was taking that picture, but it was him and then one of the other like bigwigs. And so I was like, hey, and that was like, they did some game show or something and we stayed for a little bit and then we're like, yeah, I think we're good. And then we just hung out.
We just needed some more bonding time, you know? So this I had to put on here because really like, I mean, obviously we learned so much from the trainings, but to have 3 days as, you know, a mom of 2 young ones, like out here, I mean, we got to meet up with Nicole and go out for dinner and stalk some D-list celebrities, which was amazing. I got to sit in the jacuzzi on like an after, are you kidding me? This was where we worked out with Autumn. I mean, we were literally this far away.
Yeah.
And she's just chatting about pregnant women not doing kick-ups or whatever, you know, like so.
The frog jumps, yeah.
The frog jumps.
How tall is she? Is she like 5'2"?
She's tiny.
Oh, I can go back.
That's what I thought.
Oh yeah, right there. So that's Jeff, and then that's Kim Carver.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm pointing like you can see it, but you can't.
So, and the other cool part was, so this is Juliet and I. After the Friday morning, everyone obviously was doing whatever workout it was, legs, I think. So it's really interesting because usually we're those people that like, you know, you go on a vacation, you're the only one in the hotel gym, or there might be one other person there with you, right? This hotel gym, because it was 500 Beachbody coaches, Juliet and I worked out in that hallway.
But it was also at like, we like were up at like 4:00 in the morning. And so we were like, well, okay, like we might as well go work out.
Yeah, we might as well beat everyone, right? Except for we walk in the gym, every single weight was taken. There's like 15 coaches here, 15 coaches here, everyone like doing it in groups. And we're like, should we be in the next wave? I'm like, we're going out in the hallway.
No, Dina was brilliant. She's like, grab weights, hurry up, we're going in the hall. I'm like, okay, I'm following you.
And like when I say weights, we had like those plates for like deadlifting and bench, like not even real weights. So we were just like, and then all these other girls are like, can we do that there? Like it was so cool. Like that's just
very cool
of people wanting to better themselves and just kick them. Oops, bye Adam. All right, so here's what we're looking at. This is, okay, obviously you guys know that the average calories that a sedentary man, a sedentary woman need who aren't moving at all, so they're not doing workouts like us, is in that range. The US on average is at 3,770 calories a day. Okay. The UK is at 3,400. Canada's 3,400. So there is a demand for exactly what we're providing. So that's just motivation. Now, what I really loved was anything that they talked about here, I didn't realize is based on research. So like even going back, I don't know if you guys do. I don't pay much attention to the leadership ladder. Do you guys know what the leadership ladder is? Anyone?
So,
Yeah.
So like your business starter and then business,
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so the leadership ladder came out at some point during like the middle of my coaching. So I've only been coaching for 2 years. So it was probably about a year ago that they really started this new focus. And I was like, I don't need to look at that. Like I look at SC10, that's my goal. That's what I want every month. But what was cool was the leadership ladder is based completely on research. And what they found was once 81% of diamond coaches hit team leader, they never again dropped in rank. So that's it's kind of neat now. Now I think I'm going to pay more attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sort of a benchmark because they are actually getting all these studies from places. Now what they did for this was they studied actually a huge sample of coaches that they decided to title the increasers. And what they wanted to find out, because these were coaches that were increasing their business, whether it was SC or building their business with coaches under them, they were showing advances over the past year. And what they found were all these common denominators that they listed. So what were the increasers doing? They were following the vital behavior. They were being themselves, and they were connecting with people on social media throughout the day. They were adding people daily. They knew their target market. So again, they weren't just trying to like appeal to the masses and throw random things out there. And there was a ton of talk about these 4 to 5 themes, like stay on your brand. And so as you can see up in the top left, these are just some brand examples. Okay. So like, you don't want to be all over the place, but you want to be different. You don't want to just be the crazy shake lady. You know, you don't want to be the crazy workout girl. You want to be those things, which are fitness, but you want to have your other things too. And that's so important because that's how you're going to connect with people. These increasers use Instagram stories to engage and invite. And the big thing was including subtle calls to action. So yes, once a month I do my in your face, I'm doing a challenge group, here it is. But throughout the entire month, you have to do subtle things. So like messages of, oh my God, I remember when I couldn't do a push-up, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm doing, like things like that, but then offer that help at the end. Like, I would love for some people to join me. But so subtle messages that aren't necessarily come join the challenge group, but just like, I want to help you out. Like I'm here to help however I can. I can't see my screen.
And then also like in posts, like which I talk to my team about a lot, just if you have like, taking a sip of water from this, if it says, like whatever, a shirt that says something, whatever, like your mat that you're doing something on, it's just those are like subtle things where it's not in your face and they're like in the back. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they really, really want you to ask questions. And I think I actually have a slide coming on it. So generate intrigue. You always want them to ask questions. And then the one cool thing that I saw too was they said, we often say like, oh, there's 2 spots left, or oh, there's 3 spots left. Hi. Oh, there's 2 spots left, or oh, there's 3 spots left. But what they said was, if you actually post a list of names and fill out the names of the challengers who already signed up and have those like 3 blank spaces, that's pretty cool. And then people actually see like, oh wait, those people already are in now. I really do need to fight for this last spot. So that was kind of neat. So Instagram has changed. Oh my God, I'm off in 10 minutes. It's kicking me off.
Oh, because you have the free one. This happens to me every time, but then we all come back.
I love it.
We all like sign back on.
Okay. So Instagram has changed, which means we have changed. Okay. So it depends on where you guys are in your business. When I started coaching, it was post 3 to 4 times per day. hashtag Beachbody, 21 day fix. Don't do any of that. And I'm actually happy because I never got to post up to 3 to 4 times a day. My goal was still like, as long as I can get one. So the new rule is post at least once per day. Use hashtags that are actually interesting and that are current with your life. So like, this one happened to be pregnant. So she would write like bump date, pregnancy announcement, and things like that. And then explore hashtags that you're interested in and see what those people are hashtagging. And that's what you want to use.
Dina, the one thing she did say about are you going to talk about the stories, how she said to do that like 5 to 12 times a day?
Yeah, that's the next, right? This one.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. Do you want to talk about it? Because go for it.
Yeah, sure. So the thing that was really interesting is like, as Dina said, the posting now, like you have to be engaged a little bit on social media before you post. So you can't just like throw up a post like we used to do and then be like, oh, it was at a good time. Like, oh, so, okay, I know my people are on. So what was her name? Bonnie Engel.
Bonnie.
So what she said, which was really cool, is she'll do 5 to 12 stories max per day. And they'll be just not like, it'll be different stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of like, maybe her workout or something she's doing, but then she's going to post other things throughout the day that just show her personality. That was the thing, just about engaging, and having people like, so you're not just like, oh, I'm just a robot and I'm here eating my healthy chicken,
And
like,
honestly, that's why the other day I did a little workout video like I normally would. But at the end, I was so happy it was over. Like I literally like danced and I just like broke it down a little. And I got so many comments about that. It was wicked embarrassing. Like I'm not a great dancer. But I sped it up so it looked even funnier, and
it
like
was so cute.
But
I have to tell you.
this is why I need you in my life. but just like make people laugh. And I was actually gonna do another one about like my skin's breaking out because it's that time of the month, but I just wasn't ready yet.
Well, I don't know if you saw my cold sore post. I had
I did actually
maybe 58 people, and it was really funny because everyone was telling me what they do. A lot of people use drugs for it. I was like, and I said, I just want a remedy. And I've been getting cold sores forever. I haven't had one in years. But it was very interesting to see what, people's different things. I did get when Nicole told me the,
that's good.
Oil of oregano.
So here's the thing. I hadn't done Instagram stories yet. Tracy kept telling me to. I knew Kelly was doing them. I was like, I don't need to do them. I do my one post a day. Being here, I was like, they're like, if you're not willing to grow with your business, you're not a business owner. And I was like, like I was so B-word slapped in the face. I'm not going to say it because Penelope's right there. But I really was. And Julia, I started writing things down like, oh my God, I'm not changing my business. I don't go live on Facebook and I won't do Insta stories. And that's so stupid because you know what? That's the world we live in. People are connecting on Insta stories and that's where we can show our personality. So what I start doing, I'm doing Insta stories and I'm doing like 5 to 12 a day. And it's so out of my comfort zone, but I don't care because I love this business. I love what we do. And I want to reach as many freaking people as I can.
And I think, Dina, can I say one thing? And I think that's really important. I know you have short time, but we can all back on that. Find something that is consistent. So people are like, oh, I know she's going to be doing X, Y, and Z. I want to see that. Definitely change it up. But if you find something that's a little consistent for like 2 or 3 of your stories.
With like those 5 themes. So you're always sticking to those, so then you get your population. The other thing with Insta stories, always tag your location. So if you don't know how to do that, once you take your picture or your video, in the middle top of the screen, there's a little square. Okay, I just learned this. You hit that little square, it'll give you all these different options. There's a location option. You hit that. I could tag from my house. I could tag Nevada. I could tag the airport. I could tag any location I want. And I've been playing around with them because then when you go back and look, you can see, 200 viewers looked at your location when you tagged Enfield, Connecticut, but only 30 tagged it when you just hit Connecticut. Or so as long as you have it set up as a business profile, you can see what those tagged locations, how many new viewers are getting you, which is really interesting. Because if they see something they like, they're going to start following you. So that's such an easy way to expand your market. With the tags, you can create polls. So I always tag my location, and now I just started flirting with the poll idea where like I made my husband a pillow about like the bar that we met in. It was like this wicked raunchy daiquiri bar. And I made a little poll, like, does anyone know where this was? And like, you know, and now people are like, oh my God, that's so fun. Like, I knew where that was. And then I have like my high school students like, no. I'm like, oh God. So definitely polls, definitely tag locations, and spread them out throughout the day. So 5 to 12, and you don't want to be talking a ton, they say. Like, they don't want you, like, people to have to be like tagging through you talking. If you can't say it in like 1 or 2 15-second increments, don't do it.
Yeah, I need to shorten mine. I talk.
That's but you know what, Julia? People love the way you do.
Well, that they know that that's me. As my husband says, like,
Swipe.
who boops me?
That's awesome. This is actually something I'm not going to bother talking about because I do want to respect your guys' time, and it's on Faithfully Fit. So I don't know if Tracy T or Tracy posted it, but it is phenomenal. Because I saw it and I was like, oh my God, this is basically everything they taught us at New Leaders Conference. So change with your business, read all these. If you have questions about any of them, we can help you. But like the stories posts, like I can take a picture of my challenge group responses and throw that up there and be like, so motivated today. You know, someone sends me a text about their husband who's only drinking the shakes and his cholesterol has dropped. And I circled that and said, oh my God, my heart is full. So like, there are so many things we can share that we have right at our fingertips throughout the day that shows coaching. And that's the other thing that Bonnie talked about a lot. Remember that, Juliet? How she'll literally do like, okay, coming up on Tuesday, like a 3-day sneak peek into coaching all on my Insta stories. And she'll just, you know, show herself in bed responding to her challenge groups in her pajamas. Then she'll show herself doing her workout. Oh, this is part of my job. You know, then she'll show herself responding to her challenge group or like taking a selfie. But it's a great way to do a live sneak peek into coaching for people that are like, could I do that?
Yeah, what do they do? Yeah, that's I plan on doing that within this month.
It's awesome. And then she said at the end of that, she could put a poll question out there, like, do you want to be in my private group, you know, for more of a sneak peek into coaching? And then she transitions them into a Facebook actual coach sneak peek where she starts kind of training them and trying.
And that's where she's getting most of her people.
Is her Insta stories now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think 84%. It's like something crazy.
It was, and she signed up, I think, 40 coaches in January.
40 coaches in January.
But again, this is also someone who has more than 10,000 followers. She's a swipe upper.
Yeah, she's I think one of the number ones in the company. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't need to compare. All right, and we have less than a minute. Any questions?
Oh, perfect though. That was great.
I'm like sweating. I was watching the timer.
I know. Every time I talked, I could tell you're like, oh my God. Okay, go.
Oh no, Juliet's talking. Just kidding.
Come 5 minutes. Ah!
So here's the deal. I'm going to post this recording in Faithfully Fit. And obviously you guys know how to get a hold of me and Juliet. And I don't know, I'm just so excited and I'm so fired up.
You did great. Woo! I'm so glad we leaped on to you.
I want to take a picture before this ends. Shoot. Yeah. So this is going on my Insta story.
Oh, God.
Everybody
do that.
Good. I got it.
Ew. And I want one of a good slide though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Great. Looks like I'm teaching to Juliet's phone.
I feel like this is less than a minute. You're getting like an extended time.
Oh my God, it just knows. It just knows how much I love you guys. All right. It's really fun. I've never talked to this many people.
And Juliet, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll box you.
It was good. It was helpful.
Yay. All right.
All right. Happy Thursday.
You
Bye.
too.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Nice job, Dina.
Thanks, buddy.